leaving Stuart and Esther soon, and I, for my sins, have been chosen to introduce the piece. So, we thank you all for your generous patronage of our evening's diversions. We truly appreciate your many pilgrimages from the four corners to get here, all united in one purpose: Experiments in Energy, the new album from Stuart Leathem and Esther Trousdale. Tonight, when you left your various houses and descended into the velvet contours of Belfast's miserable night time, you embarked on an adventure. Not for you the rubbing together of old, worn musical flints to somehow ignite a familiar thrill, though there will be thrills. No, it was your curiosity and hopefulness that pulled you out tonight. Your lines of fate interwoven and enmeshed to create a net of hope and anticipation, a net to catch a fish, a new kind of fish, a new breed of music. Tonight we'll be treated to a concert of the music of Stuart Leathem. Stuart's name has attracted attention worldwide and is familiar to most of you here tonight. But then, familiar doors, though safe, rarely open onto new vistas. And it's in Stuart's DNA to be ever evolving, never the same twice. We may safely predict that Stuart will be unpredictable. Real life and truth are always paradoxical. It's never either or, despite what the collective madmen tell us in these very bizarre times. It's unresolved chords, unexpected intervals, complex harmonies. Someone once said that finding truth in art is like a lumberjack walking on logs. The second you land your foot, the log moves. Yet you know it's still a true log or you'd be very wet. With Stuart, the music's like that. And if you do take a tumble, there's always this striving to break the surface. It's Daltrey crying, "I'm free," as he parts the waves in Tommy. Some of us have known Stuart Leatham's work for many years, perhaps through his albums. Patchwork Mindsets, Lou du Théâtre, Café for Lost Souls. The titles alone invite us to new places. In 2015, Stuart and Esther released the single Little Freddie Goes to School, launched worldwide at the Montreux Festival Live. Stuart's music has spread all over the world to critical acclaim, streamed over 2.5 million times in 80 countries. Stuart was the first composer ever outside the members of Queen to be honored with permission to release a full track with Freddie Mercury vocals, taken from the 5 unpublished songs that Freddie recorded before he crossed over on his journey. The track trended at the top of Rolling Stone mag, Entertainment Weekly, and Time Online, and back in 2015, Stu's work featured centrally in the Freddie Mercury birthday concert at Montreux in Switzerland. Stuart's previous music might seem to some avant-garde, but it's actually a clever and evocative synthesis that plays on both classical and more dissonant atonal styles to produce stuff that is enjoyable and yet actually also tonal. Not to get too technical, he revels in microtonality. And the places between the keys, the cracks in the floorboards of predictability. The truth is, like all true artists, he defies bracketing. He finds a middle ground, not just a compromise, but also related to the real paradoxical situations and questions we really experience in life. The places we go in our minds and shifting hearts. It's always a progressing journey for the listener, never stuck, and it's your journey from your own unique starting place to your own goal. He's no mere Pied Piper. Your own inner alchemy as you listen takes you wherever. We're a room full of people tonight, all taking the same journey on the same train, but to different places. It's fun music, it's eclectic, but it still pulls up surprises, like that sort of moment when you first drink some gin and you're not sure which part of the palate it's really hitting. Do I like it? Do I not like it? But you do like it. This is music that straddles light and dark, male and female, conscious and unconscious, space-time and transcendent, maybe even life and death. The Western and the Oriental, the sacred and the profane. It breaks boundaries. It never traps in the coffin boxes of where we think the tune should go. Even if the lyrics in his album are pure song, as they are in this, somewhere in the underlay is something else. It's the lost chord that quite enjoys being lost, but still hopes you'll search for it. Stuart's such a teaser. Stuart doesn't shrink from experimentation and risk. And in evading those coffin boxes of predictable outcome, his music still carries us across the Jordan of our limitations and tells us a sort of rebirth is possible. It straddles the paradoxes. We do so hope you're up for some straddling tonight, ladies and gentlemen. If you demand the highbrow, Stuart will fill the menu. If you just want to have fun, he'll entertain. Just ride with the flow. And Esther Trousdale, what can we say about her? Well, is she some fatal Xiren who lures us to doom as we sail the waters of chaos on top of Stuart's ever-shifting undercurrents? Or does her beautiful and versatile voice safely guide us like some beacon of hope through the more ambiguous waves of Stuart's underscore? Maybe both. Whatever she does it sublimely. There's a sense of the struggle here. In Stuart's music, something's trying to escape and bring us with it. Is this because he's a Northern Ireland composer, keeping his head above water? Please, we won't go there because that's another coffin box. Sometimes he's like a child at play. At others, the music almost says, let's go down to some unsettling death wish place. But just as I can resolve the unresolved in my harmonics and chords and progressions and get beyond that, so you can too, and break out into somewhere else. It's Kubrick and the last sequence of 2001. And yet it's fun. Tonight you'll be transported through another eclectic mix of Stuart's work, tracks with humor, tracks with irony, tracks from traditional places and tracks of modernity. Big set pieces in the tradition of Oldfield or Wakeman, all silkened over by Esther's nature song. Tracks to think about, tracks to feel, and tracks to just absorb in the doggy bag of memory to take home so that they work their magic later, subliminally. Like the old god Mercury, the trickster of the heavens, he of the winged sandals, whose mantle that other Freddie Mercury took. Stuart is a guide, a magician who leads you to other places within your own psyches, if you want to make the journey. That's why you came, no? And on that journey, if Stuart is the guide, Esther is the lighthouse. So, feel free to close your eyes, drift, or hell, just get up and dance. Nobody's stopping you, as you see fit. Now behold, as you will notice, on the table spread-eagled in front of you are Stuart's lyrics to each song. Feel free to use your phone lights to illuminate these, and if you feel so inclined, you could even tweet. We're not proud. It's your journey. You're here. We thank you all. We hope you'll enjoy the music and your own pilgrimages. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow travellers, Ecce homo feminamque, a vast round of applause for Maestro Stuart Leathem and prima donna Esther Trousdale.
Ladies and gentlemen, toast of London, there he is. Bill McCrum, everybody, thank you. Esther Trousdale, you can have a seat. Good evening, everybody. Don't turn me off yet. It was a bit long, but thank you. Bill McCrum, he's the reason we've all checked our smoke alarms. It was his voice on the advert, but there we go, one of our finest voiceover artists. Thanks a lot, William. Have a seat, get yourself comfortable. Give him another round of applause, there he is. Thank you so much for coming to our album launch this evening. You know, there was never any guarantee that this album would have been made, actually. A lot of you will have been aware of the track we did that had Freddie Mercury in it. That happened 4 years ago, and after that track was finished, I think a lot of people thought that Esther and I had a whole realm of material ready to release on the back of it, and that's not the case at all, actually. We both went our separate ways. For Esther, life happened. She had a beautiful baby girl, Hope, who's not a baby anymore by any stretch of the imagination. And I went off and did some film soundtrack work for various different producers. I did one piece of work. Is Owen Cleland here this evening? He hasn't rocked. He's on his way. I have PJ. You're here. Good to see you. I did some work on a film called Incoming Call. Incoming Call was a short film commissioned by Northern Ireland Screen that has won awards all over the world. Nothing to do with my music whatsoever at all. But it has it's scooped awards everywhere. It won Best Short at the Belfast Film Festival, and at the Northern Ireland Film and Television Screen Awards, it won Best Screenplay and Best Film. The director, Owen Cleland, in association with PJ Hart, who we're delighted is with us. This is your big moment coming now, PJ, on Owen's behalf. It scooped a Northern Ireland Screen Award that night, but Owen, who'll come in later, all being well, I think he dived to try and rescue his 2-year-old daughter, who looked like she was about to fall down the stairs. She recovered, but he carried on down the stairs, Frank Spencer style, and broke both his elbows, so he wasn't able to accept the award that evening. So but there's a bigger crowd here tonight than there was at the Northern Ireland Screen Awards anyway. So on behalf of Owen Cleland, will you please welcome PJ as he comes and accepts Owen's award on his behalf. Thank you.
Am I going to have to do a similar thing for Owen now when he shows up?
Yes, in your own time. Thanks very much. And can you also thank Owen for telling me that I definitely won Best Composer that night when I didn't? That speech is still in my top pocket for another occasion. But anyway, thank you very much for that. So, for 2 years, Esther Trousdale and I did nothing together, and then I got a message out of the blue from her saying that maybe we should try some more music together. We made one song together. It's called Grand Cafe, and it's the first track that you'll hear. It has a link back to our previous album. And after that track was finished, we felt that there was definitely something to build on. We got very excited about it. I'm not going to stand and explain how every track was written. I'm not going to do that thing where I take every track apart and tell you what it's about. If you want to ask me what anything's about, then I'll be around most of the evening. Halfway through the album, Johnny Caldwell, our dear friend from the BBC, who have been so kind to me, especially since Little Freddie was released, is going to be coming and doing a short interview with us. Anyway, that's hopefully going to answer some of your questions. We're very excited about it. It got a review on Canadian iTunes that said, the best thing since Dark Side of the Moon, so pick the bones out of that. You're all very welcome. Thank you so much for coming. We're going to play you side A of this album. Please follow the lyrics, enjoy the music. It's taken 4 years to make. You're very privileged to be here amongst us. Thank you so much for coming, especially those who have coming from all arts and parts of the UK, from London, from all parts of Scotland and different parts of England too. Thanks so much for making the journey. We do appreciate it. This is Experiments in Energy, side A. Thank you very much.
superstars. And we eat from the table and we drink from the plate. Hello, hello, we're superstars. Entertainment for you, so you know what to do. Hello, we're superstars. We're superstars. We get hello, we're superstars. We're superstars. Table and we drink from the table. Hello, we're superstars. We're entertainment for you, so you know what to do. Hello, we're superstars. We're superstars. Hello, we're superstars. We're superstars. Sundial on a table and a ball pen. If you're able, take me past the grey wall to the undergrowth, fighting to the surface for all that is surface. Increase my breath, run the show. And we eat from the table and we drink from the plate. Hello, we're superstars. Entertainment for you, so you know what to do. Hello, we're superstars. And we get what we want and we want what we get. Hello, we're superstars. And we eat from the table and we drink from the plate. Hello, we're superstars. Entertainment for you, so you know what to do. Hello, we're superstars. And we get what we want and we want what we get. Hello, we're the superstars. And we eat from the table and we drink from the plate. Hello, we're the superstars. Here comes the day in all her finery. She cracked you with a style and all the while your insecurity in time. She is the same. She is the destiny. But when you look away, the sky is gray, metamorphosizing gray. when she gets to you, I introduce to you, I introduce to you, I introduce to you, I introduce to you. Softly drinking some nice yellow syrup.
big wheels and a bottle of coke and a big black fan belt, hope it ain't broke. The wind don't seem to ruffle your hair as you pass down the road when nobody stares. You're glib and blank and everything, or maybe just a big nothing. I've never really cared for fans at all. They usually slow me down to a crawl.
That's the end of part one. One thing I should have said right at the beginning is, before I introduce our friend Johnny from the BBC, there's a sort of a subplot to this album, and that is reverb, not echo. There is a difference. Reverb is where you make a sound and it just goes on and on and on and on indefinitely, and in every single track you get one of those. And in that interlude, I don't know if you noticed or not, but that was the same song forwards and backwards, and the hand claps mask the fact that it's going backwards. Stole that from David Bowie, but he won't mind. I'm now going to hand over to our dear friend Johnny Caldwell from the BBC. Johnny celebrated a very big birthday just a couple of weeks ago, so give him a big round of applause. There he is. Yep. And they made him a cake in the shape of Chewbacca, and I have no idea why. Thank you very much, Johnny. I will invite Esther back up as well. He's going to ask.
Yeah, thanks, Stuart. I'm feeling a bit self-conscious because I was here on Thursday night next door doing a charity quiz, and after the quiz, this lady came up and said, "I really like your grumpy style. Could I book you for an event?" And I didn't realise I was being particularly grumpy. So just since then I've decided I'm going to try and be warmer and nicer. But anyway.
Turn you down a wee bit.
Yeah, and stop referring to me as Johnny from the BBC, because my boss is here. He's going to go, "Who?" And it also, nobody here has any clue who I am, Stuart, either.
Makes us look better.
But it does. But I'm here because obviously Stuart's a great guy, and obviously Esther's lovely too. But I said to Stuart that I would come along and ask a few questions to try and shed a bit more light on this fantastic project, which we've heard the first half of. But first of all, I think it's probably right to ask these guys about the Freddie Goes to School project, which obviously got a lot of international attention. And would you mind, first of all, guys, just explaining how that actually came about?
Well, I answer that one first, will I? Can we get these lights on as well, please, behind the bar so you can actually see us? Thank you very much. Little Freddie Goes to School happened because I was good friends with Queen's producer, a guy called David Richards. David sadly now passed away, but his wife was from Newtonards. We met him out in Montreux in Switzerland. He used to produce the jazz festival out there. And he was able to point me in the direction of unreleased Freddie vocals from towards the end of his life that Queen never used. We have some friends here this evening from Oxford University. They invited me to Oxford some years ago to go and do a show there of my work, which really kicked this whole thing off. And that night there was a girl there called Karen Curry. Karen is related to some of us here this evening. This is ironic, Cora, but she's in charge of Key Production, which is the company that makes all the vinyl, all the really nice vinyl, the coloured stuff. She was at the show in Oxford, and we played a few little snippets that night of things I'd done with Freddie's voice. And we went out for dinner afterwards, and she said, "You've got to do more of that." So I tried making a track out of these vocals. It wasn't great, and then I think I phoned Esther and said, "I think there might be a duet in this, but I'm not sure." And it happened very, very quickly. The actual recording process, didn't it?
Yeah, I actually think it happened. What was it? How long did it take us?
40 minutes.
About 40 minutes, and then that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a really, really quick process. But no, it was really nice. I remember Stuart even playing me the kind of raw track before he had even put anything together, or even I sang on it. And it was just amazing to hear Freddie, even in his last days, still in the recording studio. It was just amazing.
And Esther, how did it feel to your good self whenever you heard the final track? Like, obviously, arguably one of the most famous voices of all time, and your good self.
It was quite surreal, I suppose. I think sometimes I have to catch myself on and think, I've kind of technically done a duet with Freddie Mercury, even though he's not here. I've kind of technically done it, and there's very few people who have actually done that. So it's quite a proud achievement.
And so if we fast forward to Experiments in Energy, if you could talk us through how this album came about and how you guys got back together.
It was 2 years apart, wasn't it? Maybe you should tell this story.
Well, I suppose I became a mother. Actually, whenever we had our last event at the Black Box, I had actually just discovered that I was pregnant, and I remember performing it with live with very bad morning sickness. So it's a nicer tonight to actually be here, not feeling quite nauseous, without throwing up. Yeah. So I suppose a couple of years passed, and then we had bumped into each other a few times, and I think it was just, we were just like, yeah, I have a song, should we just try it here? And then that kind of got the ball rolling. I suppose our first track was Grand Cafe, which was at the start of side A, and after that it just kept on going, didn't it?
Yeah, I think I obviously had been working, and I had a whole bunch of tracks. I think we'd had about 16 for this album, and we've got it down to 12. Grand Cafe was finished, it just needed a vocal, and then Superstars came next. And then everything on side B that you haven't heard yet happened mostly in 2019. That was when we really hit our stride, and the album crystallized into a sort of, we've definitely got a concept here. And I think since you had a baby, you've got a better voice, because you can sing lower. You can. It's true. It's true.
You mentioned Grand Cafe and Superstars. What else have we heard so far tonight?
So you've heard Yellow Syrup. I've got a T-shirt specially made for that. Yellow Syrup is about whenever I was a little boy with cheek of tan. My grandparents, Dory and Joe, when the adults were chatting in their living room, I used to sit in their kitchen on the kitchen floor, because all their sauces and syrups were kept in the ground cupboard at the floor, and I used to try everything. I used to try the pickled cabbage and that whole track is about taking a huge spoonful of golden syrup and being both horrified and elated by how slowly it went down my throat. That's what that whole track was about. Small Vans, which you heard me singing on, I recorded that vocal way before we started working together, but the whole backing track got reworked around it, and thankfully Esther comes in at the end and humanizes the whole thing before it gets too ridiculous. The interlude we've talked about. The Dame nearly ended up on our last album. You didn't get to put your voice on it. That one's been sitting in the can for a while. It's like a show tune.
And Esther, have you got a favourite track on the album?
Favourite track? Okay, I kind of have two, and they're one after the other on side B, so you're going to hear them shortly. I feel like Zela's Lament, which you kind of wrote that ages ago as well, a long time ago, and Banana Shallot, interesting name, but once you listen to it, I suppose you kind of get the idea of it. But I feel for me, those tracks as a singer were really, really fun to record, because it was kind of like a long stretch of actually singing. I feel like the other ones probably were a wee bit more tedious, layering harmonies. They were fun, but they just took a wee bit more time. So I think these ones were probably a bit more enjoyable for me, so that's probably why they're my favourite.
And just in terms of people here tonight, how do you access the music? Obviously you can, stump up the cash, but is it available on Spotify?
I mean, technically the best way to listen to music still is on CD, and we've got a very limited amount of signed ones there. Cash or PayPal, we haven't got a card machine. But it's everywhere now. It's on, because Little Freddie did so well. We didn't realise how well it had done, by the way. We thought it had about 30,000 plays, and we didn't know, especially with the Bohemian Rhapsody film, that people were, especially in America, listening to Queen and then falling asleep, and when they woke up they were listening to us because of algorithms. And so that's where, I mean, last year alone we had 2.3 million plays of all our music, not just Little Freddie Goes to School, and you get 0.0001 pence for every play.
Guys, so I think we'll get back to the music, but
thank you.
Congratulations on everything so far tonight, and thank you for letting me be a part of things so far.
Thanks very much. Johnny Caldwell, ladies and gentlemen, there he is. Thank you. Whoops. Can you put it somewhere? We very much feel that side B is better than side A. Maybe, I don't know if that's because we've pretty much just finished recording it or not, but very inspired by the Abbey Road album by the Beatles. This side has some short tracks at the beginning of it, sort of 2 minutes 30, bang, bang, bang. There's a big number on it called Under That Bridge. And then we go into our last sort of two numbers, Within the Haze and Try to Let It Go. So I feel personally there's a lot more flow to the second half of this record. Thank you so much for listening to part one. Part 2 now follows. Please feel free to get yourselves a drink or whatever. We do appreciate you keeping your conversations to a whisper, because some of us are paranoid about folk listening to our music, having paid £150 for the room. Thank you very much. This is side B of Experiments in Energy. Please hold your applause between tracks and save it for the end. Thank you very much indeed. Part 2.
I don't know, don't even know the way to go. And must you try to appease me? You know the labyrinth of pain alone. I guess it's time I was trying to. Don't know what lies in store. Really don't care anymore. Just think I'd like to call and see if you're okay. I'll talk to you and listen to everything you say. When the conversation loses direction, we'll just bask in the glow. There's gonna be a heartbreak in your life. Don't try to rush it on. must leave you now. Your father wants a word. We love you, sail on, our princess, sail on. There is no peace when I look at you. No cavalcade of joy with where my head went to. There is no way that I am telling you, and that's why I'm talking like I am. Some sycophantic nonsense covering my ineptitude and lack of self-esteem, and all the time trying to read your mind. There's no release when I'm away from you. No relishing the next time I will be with you. And this is how I'm telling you. Simply talking like I am. So sycophantic nonsense covering the electricity you're striking down on me, disabling my rationality. What have you done to me? 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 There's a There's a man under that bridge. There's a man under that bridge, lighting a fire. What's he doing now? Within the haze, you can see the sunshine or bathe in its rays. Within the haze, oh, I thank the Lord for these lazy days. These most crazy of days. These most crazy of days. Within the haze, with sky traveling birds and those big aeroplanes. Without the haze, with blue sky forever and no time to waste. And if you want to fly to see the lands of opportunity, way past planet Mercury, spread your wings and fly with me. Our way and me, alone within the haze. Within the haze, the blinding reality right in your face. fact we're strapped to the atomic bomb. And if you dare suggest that we narrate with some inaccuracy, feel the downward pull as you rush headlong towards the city wall. Take me as I am, I cannot help the harmless one. I'm not the one you think I am. I only tried it for a while. I don't deserve the time you give, the affectation I receive, but now so easily you're in your position. We can reach your situation. Did you think we'd gone along the missing? Shame on them and you. We see you bouncing round in your echo chamber, modify your best behavior. Take our voice away, but we'll find you. Then you'll tell me how I feel.
In front of everybody. Thank you so much for turning out and beating the Sunday blues with us this evening. Claire will be selling some of the CDs, otherwise you can enjoy it on Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, everywhere else. The whole thing has gone global. A big thank you to all these people who have helped us at the very beginning of the evening. Mr. William McCrum, give him a round of applause. There he is. And at half-time, Johnny Caldwell, who used to work in the newsletter. Give him a big round of applause. There he is. Film director Owen Cleland has joined us late. You won an award at the start of the evening. Congratulations. Thanks for coming along. Listen, please do stick around, have a drink with us if you've nowhere else to go this evening. Otherwise, we bid you a safe onward journey. Thanks for being with us. Hope you enjoyed the show. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.